Now we will talk about addition reactions, right? Addition reactions are mainly shown by compounds that contain double bond or a triple bond, right? So again, since we are studying organic reactions, right, we know that in organic reactions we have a substrate, right, then we have a reagent, attacking reagent, right, then we have a, both these react to give you a product. Substrate we know is an organic molecule, right? Reagent may be an electrophile, a nucleophile, or a free radical, right? This is the basic thing. Now in case of addition reactions, right, substrate would always be an unsaturated compound. This would always be an unsaturated compound, organic compound, right? And these are alkenes that contains a double bond. It may be alkynes, right, or it may be some other compounds like carbonyl compounds, right, that contains a pi bond, right, like these are carbonyl compounds, right? This is the functional group of carbonyl compounds. So when basically if you see, there is one common thing in all these three types of compounds. All these three types of compounds have a pi bond, right? And sigma bond, we know all these compounds have a sigma bond, right? So all these have one thing in common, that they have a pi bond, right? And the product that gets formed, right, when a reagent attacks an unsaturated compound, right, what basically happens is this reagent will get added to the substrate, right, to the organic compound to form addition product, right? So here what the product that you get is an addition product in which the reagent will get added to the substrate, and it gets added when a pi bond is broken. Since I said that all the substrate molecules that undergo addition reactions, they have a one common thing, that is they have a pi bond. That is why addition reactions happen only in case of unsaturated compounds, because it is only unsaturated compounds that contain pi bonds, right? So when a pi bond is broken, this reagent will get added at the site of cleavage of the pi bond, right? For example, if this is an unsaturated compound, say, and this is your reagent, when this substrate will attack this reagent, the pi bond will break, right, and this substrate will get added at the site of cleavage of pi bond. Where a pi bond breaks, this substrate will get added to form an addition product. Like this. This is a addition product, right? Now we will be looking into the mechanism of some reactions, how these reactions actually occur, right? Now if the reagent, or if the attack on the substrate is initiated by an electrophile, we call it an electrophilic addition reaction, right? And if it is initiated by a nucleophile, we will call it a nucleophilic addition reaction. And if it is initiated by a free radical, we will call it a free radical addition reaction. Notice I am using the word initiated. So if this is your, same as here, let's take this only. If this is your plus and this is your minus, now if we know plus is an electrophile, right? Plus indicates electrophile, that will attack organic compounds at the site of high electron density. And in unsaturated compounds, pi bonds give high electron density to this molecule. We'll just understand how. So if this reaction is initiated by this electrophile, we will call it as electrophilic addition reaction. Now if I take this aldehyde, a carbonyl compound, this is your negative, this is your plus, right? This type of reaction, right, reaction between hydrocyanic acid and carbonyl compound is initiated by the attack of this negative ion, which is a nucleophile. This would be your nucleophilic reaction, nucleophilic addition reaction. This would be your electrophilic addition reaction. Now we'll just look into the mechanism. But before we look into the mechanism, and the third type of reaction is where the attack would be initiated by free radicals. Free radicals, we know, have single electrons and they always try to attain 2 electrons, right? So that is why they are reactive. So let's look into first reaction, where alkenes or alkynes, basically where a compound, unsaturated compound containing a pi bond reacts, right, and undergo an addition reaction to form an addition product. One more thing, if you have, okay, I have already shown you over here, right, it will form this type of addition reaction. It should be a single bond, not a double bond. Now let's quickly look into the structure of an alkene. To understand the mechanism of addition reaction, let's quickly see how an alkene, the structure of alkene looks like, right, so that it is easy to understand the attack of reagents, that is electrophilic or nucleophilic reagent, on alkenes, right. We have done this in chemical bonding, right? If you remember, this is an alkene, right? In alkene, the carbon atom is sp2 hybridized, right? Carbon atom is sp2 hybridized. That means we have one s and 3 p orbitals will hybridize to form 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. Right? If this is, say, this is your ethene, so each of the carbon atom, this is also sp2 hybridized, this is also sp2 hybridized, right? Now 2 sp2 hybrid orbitals will overlap with these 2 hydrogen atoms, and 1 sp2 hybrid orbital will overlap with the sp2 hybrid orbital of this carbon atom. Now one unhybridized p orbital is left. If you look at the electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. Here sp2, these orbitals will undergo hybridization to form sp2 hybrid orbitals. 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, right? And you can see that one p orbital is unhybridized. This is unhybridized. It is this unhybridized orbital, right, that will form pi bond between these 2 carbon atoms, right? These 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals will form sigma bonds, right? And this one unhybridized p orbital will form a pi bond. We'll just see how. And if you look at this, I'll just show you over here. We'll just draw 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. We know that carbon is tetravalent in nature. Small orbital, this is how an orbital is drawn. let's this doesn't look good. Let me just draw it again. We would be should be like this. These are 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. The other carbon will also have similarly sp2 hybrid orbitals. Like this. Right? You can see that you have 2 hydrogen atoms. We know that hydrogen has 1s orbital. So 2 sp2 hybrid orbitals, this sp2 hybrid orbital and this sp2 hybrid orbital will overlap with these two 1s orbital of hydrogen atom. Like this. Right? This is your 1s and sp2 hybrid, this overlapping. Similarly, here also you have 1s and sp2 hybrid overlapping. This is your hydrogen atom, right? These are sp2 hybrid orbital, Here you have, this is your sp2 and 1s overlapping. Similarly, here you have sp2 1s overlapping. This is your unhybridized p orbital, right? This is your 2pz, unhybridized 2pz orbital. Now these two unhybridized p orbital on both the carbon atoms will form a bond by sidewise overlapping like this. This is one sigma bond, and these two unhybridized p orbital will undergo lateral overlapping or sidewise overlapping to form a pi bond. We know this from chemical bonding that this is a pi bond, right? To understand this, you need to know chemical bond, you need to know hybridization concept that we have learned in chemical bonding. So now is it clear that in this alkene we have one sigma bond which is formed by sp2 hybrid, by overlapping of sp2 hybrid orbital of both these carbon atoms. We have one pi bond which is formed by sidewise overlapping of this unhybridized p orbital which has not taken part in hybridization. Now once this is clear, the other thing to understand is this pi bond which is formed by sidewise overlapping of, this is formed by sidewise overlapping of unhybridized p orbital, pz orbital. You have a sigma bond which is formed by sp2 overlapping of sp2 overlapping of these two orbitals, right? Now we know that pi bond is a weaker bond, right? Because it is formed by sidewise overlapping, right? Sidewise overlapping is where complete overlapping hasn't happened. So due to which, since complete overlapping hasn't happened, this bond is a weak bond, right? This bond is a weak bond, right? This is a weak bond because it is formed by sidewise overlapping, which is not a complete overlapping. Now if we talk about this sigma bond, this is a strong bond. This is a strong bond because it is formed by head-on overlapping of these two orbitals, and we know that head-on overlapping is a complete, it's a complete kind of overlapping the overlapping is more, right? That is why the bond formed is a strong bond. Now, one thing important to notice while studying these addition reactions is that this pi bond, right, this is your pi, this pi bond, right, has electron density above and below the plane of these three orbitals. These three orbitals are in one plane, right? These three orbitals are in one plane. Now this, you can see that due to the sidewise overlapping of this unhybridized p orbital, right, above and below, right, half of the lobe is above, half of the lobe is below, right? So overlapping is happening above and below. So pi electron density, right, pi electron density is above and below the plane of this molecule, right? So that is why these electrons, the electrons that form pi bond, right, or pi electron cloud is more available for the attack. So in such molecules, this is a pi electron cloud. Pi electron cloud means negative. So electrophiles would easily be able to attack this pi electron cloud, right, which is more available and is found above and below the plane of this molecule, right? So when we will study the mechanism of addition of such molecules, reagents to alkenes, right, we will see that such molecules are susceptible to be attacked by electrophiles. Why? Because they have pi electron cloud above and below the plane, which is more available, right? And we know that this pi electron cloud, which has a negative electron density, they would be attacked by electrophiles, right, which are positive reagents, right? So such molecules are easily attacked by your electrophilic reagents, and the reactions in such molecules would be initiated by electrophiles and are called as electrophilic addition reactions. So let's now look into the mechanism of the reaction. When the attack will happen due to this pi, now we understand that the electrophile attack would be initiated because of this pi bond, right, and it's available like this. It's like this. Now this electrophile will approach, right, and this is what will form. This is the kind of thing that form, right? This will form electrophile. Since this pi electron cloud, right, is more available in this molecule, so when this electrophile will initiate the attack on this pi electron cloud, it would not be bonded to any of the carbon atom, right? It will get embedded in this pi electron cloud. It will get kind of fixed in this pi electron cloud. In this stage, it is not embedded to any of the carbon molecule, but it is embedded in the pi electron cloud, which is available above and below the plane of this molecule. This is known as pi complex. This is a pi complex. This is your pi complex which is available. This is your pi complex which gets formed when electrophile will attack the pi electron cloud. Since this pi complex is an unstable compound, or this is an unstable thing, right? This complex, we call it a complex. This is unstable. It will rearrange itself, right? It will rearrange itself to form a carbocation, right? It will form a carbocation like this, right? This is what it will form. Pi complex will rearrange itself to form a carbocation, and we know that carbocation is an intermediate, right? This is an intermediate that will again react further, right, to form the addition product. Now in this, right, let's say we are taking this molecule, right, or the molecule is EY, say EY, right, and your this E is plus, right, which is electrophile, that has already initiated the attack, right, and formed a carbocation going through this pi complex. Then this is your negative. Now this negative will attack this positive site of carbocation, right? This is more susceptible to attack by this nucleophile. This is your nucleophile, right? So it will form plus Y minus, it will form like this. So this is your addition product. This is how you will get such addition product. So such reactions are mainly due to pi bond, right? This reaction happened because of the available pi bond, right? This reaction is a characteristic of a pi bond. Remember, this is important, right? So this reaction mainly is a characteristic of a pi bond. And why we call it an electrophilic addition reaction? Because here the attack was initiated by an electrophile, right? This electrophile attacked this pi electron cloud and gets embedded into this cloud to form this pi complex, right? This pi complex will undergo rearrangement to form this carbocation, right? This carbocation then will be attacked by this negative ion to form this addition product, right? This is your mechanism of addition reaction to alkenes, right? Remember this structure, right, and this hybridization to understand it. Now the second type of reactions, right, second type of reactions where attack would be initiated by nucleophiles, right? You can take this, all this down, are known as nucleophilic addition reactions. Such reactions you can normally see, will see such reactions in your aldehydes and ketones, in carbonyl compounds, that we'll study in future chapters, right? We have a chapter called aldehydes and ketones. When we'll study those chapter, we'll see how addition reaction takes place. We'll do all those in detail there, right? Even these reactions we'll see in unsaturated hydrocarbons, alkenes and alkynes. But here just understand all this, because whatever we are studying in this chapter, these are the types of reactions that we will be studying in organic chemistry. So it is very important to understand this chapter, right? So here these are the compounds, right, where nucleophile will initiate. Let's take here hydrocyanic acid. It has a negative end, a positive end. This is a nucleophile, right? This is nucleus loving. Now in such reactions, this will initiate the attack on this compound. Now in this compound also we know that it consists of a sigma bond and a pi bond, but the mechanism would not be same as this. Here, if you remember, we have studied electromeric effect. In case of electromeric effect, in the presence of an attacking reagent, this is an attacking reagent, this has a pi bond, it has a pi electrons. So pi electrons in the presence of this attacking reagent would be transferred to the more electronegative atom of this bond, of this group, right, like this. In the presence of hydrocyanic acid, pi electron clouds would be transferred to the more electronegative element, oxygen. Now you can see polarities has been developed in carbonyl group. Now attack by nucleophile can easily be understood. This nucleophile will attack the electrophilic carbon atom, We know that reaction is nothing but a reaction between an electrophile and a nucleophile. This is a nucleophile, this is an electrophile, right? And this will attack this later. Sorry, this is what will get formed. Since this is initiated by your nucleophile, so this is your nucleophilic reaction. Suppose this is a carbon, since I said this occurs in carbonyl compound, suppose this is your acetone, right? Let's say this compound is acetone. So the addition product, here also you can see that an addition product is formed where this entire molecule is added to the molecule of acetone, right? This is your acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. We will go through these reactions in detail and many reactions in aldehydes and ketones, right? So important to understand here, right? Because all aldehydes and ketones contain this carbonyl group, right? And remember, the carbonyl group consists of a pi bond and a sigma bond, right? In the presence of the reagent hydrocyanic acid, the pi electrons would be shifted to, right, or displaced towards the more electronegative atom, oxygen atom, right? Polarities are developed. You have an electrophilic carbon atom, positive carbon atom, which would be attacked by this nucleophile, right? Since this attack is initiated by a nucleophile in the carbon atom, this is a nucleophilic addition reaction, right? Then after that, this H will attack this OH to form this addition product, acetaldehyde cyanohydrin, right? I hope this is clear, right? So this is your second type of reaction, right? This is your second type of reaction, which is your nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction, right? And remember the electromeric effect that has happened here, right? And electromeric effect only occurs in the presence of a reagent, right? HCN. I hope this is clear. Now the third type of reaction is free radical addition reaction. Free radical addition reaction. Free radical addition reaction is where attack is initiated by free radicals, right? The example is when HBr attacks unsymmetrical alkene in the presence of peroxides. That is an example of this reaction, right? For example, if this is an unsymmetrical alkene, when it reacts with HBr, right, in presence of benzoyl peroxide, C6H5O, C6H5, right, then it will form an addition product, right, in which Br would be added to the carbon atom that has more number of hydrogen atoms, right? Here just understand that this reaction, because we will do this in detail, because this is a little detailed reaction mechanism of this reaction, we'll do this in alkenes, right, when we will do Markovnikov's rule and anti-Markovnikov's rule, because this reaction proceeds via anti-Markovnikov's rule, which, or we call it a peroxide effect, because this is taking place in place of peroxide, benzoyl peroxide. Just understand here that this benzoyl peroxide, right, will form free radicals, C6H5O, two free radicals, right? Now this free radical will attack HBr. This will attack HBr, right, to form this Br free radical. This Br free radical will attack this unsymmetrical alkene then, right? This is how this reaction is initiated by free radicals. Here this is Br is free radical, which is formed by the attack of these free radicals, which is formed from benzoyl peroxide, right? This bromine free radical will attack the unsymmetrical alkene. So this is initiated by bromine.